This is my team's demo for NestScope. Firstly, I'll talk about the public tool. Meet Dr. Julia. She is a researcher at the Water Institute, and she is tasked with generating a report on the colonies with high erosion areas and also the declining population in those colonies over the past years. In a scenario where she doesn't have our products, she has to contact the database administrator, gets the tables back from the database, and then run a report on it, which is probably gonna take a day. But with NestChat, all she has to do is type in the prompt, and the chat agent goes through the database and finds all the important details, and then creates a highly detailed dashboard with some explanations based on what the researcher asked. So in the end, you can see it gives an in-depth analysis and it talks about the key findings. It also talks about conservation implications and it also recommends follow-up questions. In the end, it also gives you Excel spreadsheets of all the information it got from the database, and it gives you an interactive map where you can click and see the colony locations where, based on the prompt you gave. In the bottom, it also shows a nice dashboard with all the trends and all the states-based trends of those colonies. Also, imagine a student wanting to know about the pelican population since the oil spill. They can just type it in, and the AI agent goes through the database and collects 11 years of data. And then it gives a detailed answer, it gives the results, and it gives all the dashboards and the trends. We also have a nice user interface where you can toggle light and dark mode, and we have a visually appealing interface. Quick note, why not just use ChatGPT? Well, ChatGPT doesn't have access to 11 years of Gulf Coast data, and that's what differentiates us from that's what differentiates ChatGPT from NestChat. Also, we have a proof of concept where we upload our AI models into drones, and the drones autonomously fly over these colonies and capture the birds, calculates the birds, and also finds out the species. And after that, you can ask NestChat of the latest data, and it gives you the latest bird counts, and it gives you a context. All this can run on a little device, which is $200, which is called the Jetson Nano. And in the future, this will be able to do the work of the experts autonomously. Now I'll talk about Nest Vision, which is our playground that includes two models, Swift and Swift ID. Swift's model counts all the birds in the images and draws a box around them, while the job of Swift ID is to identify the species of the bird in the picture. So Swift is really accurate, and it also gives you information on the bottom. Swift is very accurate because it was trained on 17,000 high quality images and it has a 91.2% accuracy. Swift ID was trained on self-learning. It tried to figure out the different characteristics in the birds and learn how to identify the birds. Why did we make this tool public? Basically, we made this tool public so that researchers, students, and people interested in the bird research can go and find the information from NestChat and also see how our vision model works in Nest Vision. This also brings contribution to the project. Now we'll talk about NestSpats. NestSpats is our expert tool. This is different from the public tool because it has authentication. If you sign in with the wrong email, it's not going to give you access because it's for the scientists. When you sign in, you have access to our nice dashboard for annotating birds. We have done 17,000 images with 99,000 annotations in the past month. So it's very easy to create a project. All you need to do is click on the create new projects, add the name of the project, description, and upload your zip file with thousands of images, and also add the coordinates in your zip file. And once you do that, you can open the project, assign the tasks to your different team members. You can split the images by team members. And once you click on the image, all you have to do is just use our AI tool, and it automatically counts all the beds in the image in less than 1 second. And if you click on a bed, you can be able to easily click on the identify all button, and then it identifies all the beds in the images and classifies them into species. And you can save the annotation and move on to the next image. So you could also export the projects to different formats. We can export to GeoJSON format so it can be easily overlaid on a map. Now here is another image. We have some brown pelicans in this image, and when you click on it, it gives you a top 5 prediction of the beds. You can see number 1 prediction is a brown pelican, and it gives you the remaining 4 predictions. Also, if the AI is not right, we have a way to correct it where you can search for the bed species code and correct the AI model. This way, you can correct the AI model to become smarter and more accurate. Now we'll move on to NestDB. We noticed that the Water Institute used Access database, and we wanted to give them a new database that makes it easy for them. We have an AI assistant where the database administrator doesn't have to write the SQL queries, and they can just write in natural language, and our AI agent updates and modifies the table. The NestDB has read and write access, while the Nest Chat has only read access because it's a public tool. Also, you can see the prompt we just wrote created a table, and the cool part about NestDB is that we have versioning, meaning that every single change is made by users is versioned, and if there's a mistake, you can easily roll back this mistake, and it doesn't matter how long the mistake was made. Now we'll talk about FloodWatch. FloodWatch uses data fusion from multiple public government data, and is also real-time. It has the water level, hurricane historical data, and also the erosion mapping of every single colony. And you can search by colony, and it shows you the predicted erosion rates in the next 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, and also 50 years in the future. And we also have nowcast and forecast. This tells you the current water level, which is nowcast, and forecast tells you the water level for the next 72 hours. So this is a great monitoring dashboard where experts can be able to tell the erosion rates of every colony. Now, more tools we have here. We have team members page where you can easily manage team members and add team members. You can also see the stats of the projects they have worked on and the images they've worked on, which is kind of like a simple gamification. Now we have a help page. We know we have a lot of tools here and it might be hard to get started, so we created an in-depth documentation on every single tool we have in NestScope. We have our Onyx models fully open sourced on Hugging Face, and you can also see the data sets we used of 17,000 high quality images. You can also see our accuracy score in the Hugging Face, and we have 2 repositories on GitHub that we worked on. We have the NestScope Public and then the NestScope Experts. Basically, these 2 tools are different. The public tools, you're going to see the link in the description, and the expert tools are the annotation tools, database tools, and all that. You can also contribute if you want, and if you have problems setting this up, you can send me a DM.